It is called A Day in the Life or Lyman's Day Work. And let me share it, my screen. Anybody see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let me turn this up. And really, it's almost like a music video, guys, but just watch what these guys are doing. They're working, I'll tell you straight up here, they're working in what we call backyard construction, where they built the power lines in between the houses in their backyards. There's a lot of this stuff out there in our community. So if it's too loud, tell me, I'll turn it down.
Oh, yeah. Damn. So it looks like we're going to be changing out a transformer. Oh, wow.
I kind of go.
That's the old buck squeeze. That's the original one that came out. Ooh, look at those hooks. Ooh, that is ancient. So it looks like a pole change out here, and they're getting ready to cut out the top of the old pole.
That's a healthy chunk.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, but he's got it tied off with a hand line. And you see the telephone and TV cable still attached to the old pole underneath. Now what are we doing? Looks like some triplex secondary, getting ready to move some secondary over.
Okay.
This truck,
Yeah, nice ride.
tandem axle, yeah.
Yes, sir. Heavy duty Rudy. Guys, out that's pretty much what it comes down to when you have backyard construction like that. Um, when I worked in Andrews, I had a right good bit of that run down through the alleyways behind the houses like that. Um, you can't access it. Everything you do, it's going to be off your hooks. You saw those guys climbing. What do you think they were doing when they were up that pole? Why were they up that pole?
The second one, this one right here.
Yeah.
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 Well, you can see the red dot on it. So I would suspect that red dot and the arrows are pointing down.
Yeah.
That's been identified as a rotten pole.
Right. Exactly. So what they did, I'm not sure how they did it, but somebody came in here and set that pole in. Don't know if they did it by hand or not, but if they did, they could not do it energized. They would have had to kill that line. But that's what they were doing. And of course, they had to climb and transfer what's left up the pole. So did you see how they transitioned past the cable vision and telephone and all on that pole?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they didn't really transition over with the flip line because it's not attached to the new pole yet. So they were there just to scoot on by it. And of course, somebody said that was a big piece of pole to chunk, and you're right, it was. But you can see the old buck squeeze, what they use. I mean, that's probably some of the first equipment they came out with. Don't know if Buckingham made that, but it looks just about like it. A little bit different piece of equipment, but also wearing a body harness. Don't know why they made him wear it. Of course, that's attached to his belt, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, that's attached to his belt. And you notice too that they make them wear full body uniforms.
Yep. Yep. And that's probably for what they call it, arc flash suits.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're doing their thing.
I see they got a buckle for adjustment instead of the sliding buckle that we use today to adjust the buck squeeze.
Mouse over that silver part right there, V, on the pole.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's actually what we used to call a slap handle.
Okay.
You could slap that and adjust your belt with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely old style.
Yeah.
Yep. When they were they disconnecting the fuse disconnect of the switch? Is that what they were doing?
Look, that original part, they were changing a fuse out and they had a bad transformer.
Okay.
Right there? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They started one thing and led themselves into another.
So, I mean, that's not what happened there. That's not normal, right? I mean, that little
Fuses blowing is not normal.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all the arc and smoke and metal that comes out the bottom of that, that fuse barrel that y'all, were closing. When they closed it in, it just explodes inside, and that's what you see. And if you would have been able to hear it, it probably would have sounded like a little stick of dynamite going off.
Got it.
That looked like that was a pretty nasty fault with that much.
Yeah, it'll shake your teeth, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Any idea what might have happened there that caused that explosion?
Yeah, I already said it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Bad transform.
Bad transform. Okay.
Bad transformer, Lenny.
Yeah.
And different things they might have had a storm and got a lightning strike on it, or just some kind of internal fault caused that transformer to go bad.
Got it.
And and it looks like that could be a hand job like you guys were doing and had to change it out by hand.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Hand job.
That's a perfect example. And you probably won't, I mean, that guy's yard right there.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt he's going to let you put a mini excavator back there or anything like that. You're going to have to pull that up.
It tears whole backyard up.
Yeah.
Sir?
It tears whole backyard up. Put that back there.
Yeah. And, typically what we did in a situation like this, just to make things easier, I mean, it's not optimum for the customer here, is if we had a bad transformer, anything we had to work in proximity to the primary, we'd just de-energize the entire line.
Mm-hmm.
Go up there, do our work, come back down, and then go back and re-energize the primary. Seldom would you go and change this transformer out, especially in this type of configuration. That's pretty close to the switch.
Yeah.
Man.
Plus, you've actually got to climb up above the switch, put your handline block and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we de-energize all that. It does give a good indication though, and a good kind of precursor. Back in the day, people like to have, and subdivisions like to have their overhead lines built behind the property line. So it made the front and the roads look good.
Mm-hmm.
But I can guarantee you, like this guy right here, that shed wasn't there when the line was built.
Heck no.
And those
Right.
sheds and those trees and those bushes, everything that's planted here. So
Right.
access is just terrible.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Shoemaker, of course, when you're saying hand job, you mean that manual load breaker that you were showing us the other day?
No, everything that you do, he means, is by hand.
By hand.
So you got to set the pole by hand. There's no heavy equipment. There's no mechanical equipment. Just everything is done by hand.
Yep. And it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Any other comments or questions about this stuff? I mean,
Besides the auger on the truck, do we like use like the handheld augers? Like, like the steel motorized ones?
You know, we didn't use those too much, and I'll defer to Professor V on that too. Post hole diggers.
yep.
Oh, okay.
Show them postal diggers, and I can, we tried them a couple times as far as getting a hole dug. One is that diameter's got to be so big.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
tell you one thing, handling one of those things is extremely dangerous. If you're doing it for like fence posts,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be okay with it. But if you've got to go with like a 24 or 30-inch diameter hole to set a pole in, yeah, those things are one, hard to control, and two, anything that's underneath in the ground, you're just going to eat cables, wires, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys, you can see this guy. He was the first one we looked at. He closed that first fuse in and it blew back right there. Of course, like Professor Shoemaker said, he's got on his PP is more or less like an arc suit to keep from being flashed. Hard hat. You notice he had rubber gloves on. But I don't know if Santee Cooper makes you do it, but we've had to do it for years. We had to wear those earmuffs because like I said, when those fuses blow, it is very loud. It can be deafening.
Yeah.
We had to wear some kind of ear protection when we close the fuses in.
That's one of those injuries that creeps up on you. You don't know about it. It's gonna, if you don't wear ear protection, it's gonna be a loud boom. It might hurt your ears, or your ears, or you might not be able to hear things for a couple seconds, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
But every time you do that, you're damaging your eardrum. And at the end of the year, when you get your physical at the end of the year and they retest you, you're going to have hearing loss.
Yep. Okay. Any questions, comments, guys? That's the real deal right there.
Mm-hmm. We'll show more like that. That's
Yeah.
You might as well, if you got a pole change out in the backyard, you might get 2 in a day.
Yeah.
Maybe. It is extremely tedious.
And you can see this one here. They've got a slope. There's no way to drive a truck in from this side. This is definitely manual labor, hand job all the way right there.
Yep.
So, okay. Let me stop share. Okay. Randall.
Yes, sir.
You're late.
I know.
Did you forget something yesterday?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
That test,
Yeah, but hello.
I didn't forget about it.
So you just didn't want to do it, huh? All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later at the end, Randall.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna roll on. We're gonna start talking about some different kinds of underground equipment to use when you're locating primary, secondary, those kinds of things. The first thing we're gonna look at is what we call the Dynatel. And we've got a Dynatel with a wand and all this stuff. I'm gonna show you a video on it in just a second. It's a right lengthy video. We'll stop throughout the time on the video. We'll talk about some things with it, and then we'll go into probably the Varnark reflection system where we look at locating primary faults, underground primary faults, and those things. So we're going to look at locating secondary faults and primary faults. But the first one we'll look at, like I said, is not the Varnark, but the Dynatel. I think this is the 2273, and we do have one of those. And are we going to be out on the field tomorrow, Professor Shoemaker?
I'm hoping so, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, what we do, we got
It's
some
raining
stuff.
here now.
Is it raining out there?
Yeah.
I can't see. I don't have a window. Man.
When you do the share this time, go down to that left-hand side and say share computer audio.
Oh, hang on one second. The computer guy's here. 1 second, Scott.
Okay.
At my door.
Good morning.
Hey, man.
Can I just drop one of these boxes off here for
Sure.
tomorrow?
Yes. You can leave them both right there if you like. He's crossed. Yeah, there he is.
I'm gonna drop.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you, if you guys
You want one of these?
sign in. I'm just gonna drop this off here. I'm gonna have you guys log in. Now I have to take these back.
Whoa.
Which the sad part is that, yeah.
Hang on 1 second, sir.
Yeah, you're fine. I'll be in the background.
I'm just going to mute that.
Okay, so while he's working with him and I'm getting logged in on mine over here, Dynatel, it's called a 3M Dynatel when we get to it and watch the video for it. They're probably the leaders in the industry as far as secondary underground locating and secondary underground fault finding. That's two different things. So you can locate conductors and then you can find faults, and this is totally secondary. When we say secondary, you know, it comes from the transformer to the secondary enclosure or from the secondary enclosure to the residence or business. So that's what this piece of equipment is. Now, there are some others. There's ones that are called like Metrotex and Joslin. They're out there in the world too. They work on the same principle, guys, even though they're different pieces of equipment. So, thank you. Just to give you a heads up, even though you might run into a company that's got Metrocheck or Joslin or some other type of equipment, works similarly. And they have the same kind of what they call general rules that are going on in there. Dynatel also makes them for not only the electric industry. They're not going to make one for power utilities, and they're not going to make a different Dynatel for TV cable, and they're not going to make one for telephone. So when we teach this here, there are some things that are intrinsic or specified for the electrical industry. One thing to remember here, and it's great for us, the wand, the two pieces of equipment that he's going to show you here, the wand will pick up a frequency by itself. You don't need a transmitter. You can just use the wand. So what frequency do you think it needs to pick up? A little
60 hertz.
There you go. There you go.
I was gonna say that, but I was scared.
All right. 60 hertz is inherent, or, you know, it is the frequency of the power or electricity that's delivered in the United States. Now, do remember this. If I'm trying to locate a line with 60 hertz frequency, what do I have to have on the line? What must exist on the line for 60 hertz to be emitted?
3-phase load.
Well, just say load. All right. Secondary, okay, we can go single phase, we can go to 3-phase, whatever. Load has to be on the line for 60 hertz to be emitted out of the cable. Remember that magnetic field that comes out of the cable? Okay, so if I'm trying to locate a line from an enclosure or transformer that's one, de-energized, or two, does not have any load on it, it won't pick up 60 hertz. Okay, so I can go from a secondary enclosure to a house. That's in your presentations, that underground wire right there, and the person has the disconnect turned off in their house. Am I going to be able to find it? Locate? No. There's no load on it. Voltage, yes. Load, no. So I can't find it unless it starts giving off that magnetic field of 60 hertz. All right, let me try something right here. All right, while he is getting prepared there, he's got his video queued up. I am going to, this video is a little bit long, but I'm going to give you guys a piece of equipment here that's really getting popular in the industry. So let me get a share going on right here. Share screen. Share computer sound screen. That one. Share. Okay, let me know when you guys can see that. Should be a commercial. Can anybody see that?
Yeah, it just popped up.
Okay, appreciate it.
Francesca, love the energy today. Climbing the leaderboard.
The video itself does not have audio, so that's what we're going to go on. So what we have here is what they call a mini derrick. And I'll try to get some points of stop right here. So they're making up material. Okay, you see this gate opening that's coming into the backyard right here? They've laid down mats. They've carried the pole in with the mini derrick. You can put it right on top of the mini derrick or off to the side. And you also have a bucket attachment that you can put on the mini derrick. It's a real cool track machine. Very expensive. So making up material, and I'll try to go up to here. Let's see. Preparing it. Oh, I saw the auger right there. These guys are moving so fast. There you go. Wow. Okay, so, you know, in this case right here, I can't tell if that's on the boom or not. It looks like they might be using a manual hole digger, Nigel, up in the upper left-hand side.
That's wrong.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
wrong.
can see it. Yep, I see it over there.
Stop. You fix your mistake. You were there with me. I trust you, Judge.
Making this material, I'm taking forever. I got some rubber hoses. Okay, so they got the bucket attached. So he was manually digging the hole. They got the bucket attached, which you can take it on and off of the mini derrick, and you can see the size of this thing. Pretty narrow, and it folds
Doesn't look big
up.
at all.
Say again?
So it doesn't look pretty big at all.
It can set up to a 45-foot pole, but it is small. It has a lot. You notice how our line truck has 2 extensions in it. These can have 3 extensions in it. So it gives you a good bit of length. And that's me. Hold on one second.
I'm gonna take that back. I know. And then,
Okay. And so the bucket that you see that's on there is detachable. Going a little bit more with this video. Looks like in this case, now that I've got a fiberglass bucket and all the equipment I need, they are working this line energized. Scoot forward a little bit. All right, now they've taken the bucket off. Oh, I want to get a good shot of that mini derrick. Yeah, you can see right here. Now you see the tracks that are on the mini derrick off here to the side, they actually expand in and out. So you can get through narrow fences. So you got more stability with the tracks out. Things are pretty hefty.
That's a nice piece of equipment.
It is. They're about, well, the ones that we bought at Santee Cooper, they're going to run you about 80 grand.
Yeah. Now go through what, a 4-foot gate?
Yeah, they went through a gate with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you notice, is there, the guy is standing on the mini derrick while he's operating it. Boy, this guy is shaky. The guy is standing on here. They do have remote controls too.
Yeah.
So you can actually stand off to the side. Nigel, I'm going to take it back. The auger is on this one. You see it?
Yep.
So they auger the hole with the mini derrick. Professor V, let me know when you're ready to get back.
I'm ready. He's finished.
Okay. I just want to give you guys an idea. You know, there is equipment out there that you can use. Probably the next time what we'll look at here is setting up a new pole from an old pole, using the old pole to set a new pole. That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I gave
Oh,
him a
you can do
general,
that.
it's possible. I gave him a general rundown of what the Dynatel, what the purpose of it is there, Professor V.
All right. Well, it's 9:33. Do you want to let's take a little break?
We might as well and start fresh on it.
Yeah. Let's go to about 9:45.
Sounds good.